Okay, let's get started. So, yesterday we have seen log files and how to create them. Okay, today let's learn something about error handling, what it will do, what is error handling. Okay, about that. Actually, we have direct command error handler over here. If you drag and drop, you have four options. One is select error handler action. Whatever the code you are going to put in between error handler, whether you want to continue if any error occurs or you want to stop, it depends upon the process. Okay, if something is happened and you want to continue, something is not going accordingly, if you want to continue, you can select continue. If you are, it is purely depends upon the process how you are coding. Okay, and if you want to stop it, let's say the object itself does not exist. Okay, so you want to continue or you stop, or one message box is there, you want to click on OK. In real time, I will use three commands actually for one click. Wherever my bot is failing, when I am after developing, I will test. I will do a round of testing for it. If it is failing to click on anything, any message box or any object or anything, let's say there is a text box already present, but it is failing to click, or if it is failing to set some text, I will use one more command. We have three different commands. Manage window controls is there, object cloning is there, web recorder is there. Okay, for example, if there is a text box and we need to set some text over there. Okay, we need to provide account number, and our bot is failing. It is failing to enter that account number inside. Maybe whatever may be the reason, our network maybe it is slow and our AI is fast. You will see even some of these cases, like your website is too slow while loading. You will get one pop-up like loading. In the background, it is already present. In the background, it is already there. Website is loaded, but some of the data is not. Some of the data, like in the tabular column. Okay, in the tabular column, it will take some time to load. Okay, so in those cases, some, not always, but sometimes it will fail. It will fail to fetch the data or do some operations. Our object cloning or window manage window controls or web recorder. So at that time, I will use continue option. I will use object cloning within the continue block. So like this, it is going to be just continue, and I will place my object cloning over there. So even if it is failing, also it won't stop our process. In our AA, if there is any error occurred, like our object cloning failed to, or if search criteria did not match, our bot stops there only. If you are not using this error handler, let's say, let me error out manually. So I am using one Excel session which is not yet open. I am trying to close one Excel session. Close spreadsheet. Okay, which is not, I didn't even open that Excel sheet, but I am trying to close it. Okay, if I do like this, it will stop. Okay, it's a dummy task, just leave it. And I am placing one message box over there. Test and save. Now if I am trying to run, it will stop at line number 4 only. It will stop at line number 4 because it found some error, so it won't go to 5, 6, 7. So in those cases, if you want to continue something even after you got an error, AA got an error, if you want to continue, you will use continue option, or if you want to stop it there, you will use stop option. So it purely depends upon the process and the way you are coding. Okay, if you want to use, let's say the scenario which I explained, our object cloning is failing in some cases, and you want to use web recorder to do the operation, same operation. Object cloning is failed now. So for that, if object cloning fails, that means you will AA throws an error, unable to set text, or you will get search criteria did not match. Mostly you will get search criteria did not match. The object which is the code, everybody knows, right, how object cloning works. based on the properties, it will look for the properties inside the web page or inside the window. If it is the whatever the properties we have choose to for searching, it is not finding, it is unable to find some property over there. It is not matching according with the website. Maybe the reason they may have changed the website, or they may have updated the property. Anything may happen. So in those cases, if you want to continue by using web recorder, okay, if you want to continue by using web recorder, you will go for, again with inside object cloning, you will place inside our error handler, you will place object cloning, and then the next line is going to be web recorder. Again, it is also inside the same. Let me show you. Let me open this. Let me do for NSC India. So whole RPA is depends upon the error handling. How you are handling error is most important. Okay, NSC India, and I am trying to capture one control. In this text box, I am trying to set one text. These are all the search criteria for us. This is the search criteria. Okay, it will look for all these properties wherever the binocular is there, right side in the search criteria, left side to property. If you check it, it will look for that property. If you uncheck it, it won't look. Okay, that means it will use keyword, company ID, input, and text. Okay, to identify. There may be more than one text box, so it will look for these search criteria whatever we have selected. So the search criteria which you are selecting should be unique. Otherwise, our tool will confuse between. If you are selecting two search criteria, okay, you have to check the background score also. If there are, let's say in this I have two search boxes. You have to check for the unique properties of those two search boxes. If you want to do operation in this search box, whatever, but you have one more search box over here. So you have to select a property which is unique way. Otherwise, it will put the data inside this one. Okay. So select a unique search criteria whenever you are going for object cloning or web recorder, if it is a web application. And one more thing is, always use the maximum number of binoculars. Then only it will work. It will identify that search box in a unique way. And one more thing is, if you are selecting, let's say, text box only, definitely these two are going to be common for both the search boxes. I'm sure if I select that one also, sorry, let me select an action. I'm doing click operation over there. If I do the object cloning, just you don't have to go to check that press F12 and check the code. Just don't do that. Just instead try to select that search box also and check it. These two, HTML tag and input type, are same for both of them. Okay, so use that in a unique way. Okay, we will discuss more about object cloning whenever we are discussing about this now. Whenever any error occurs, error handler. So for example, let me error out. Okay, I am closing this website. I am closing. There is no object for it now. Whatever we have selected, definitely it should throw an error. Even though I want to execute. In the line number 3, we are getting error, but it should show message box text because we gave continue option. Let's see. It will wait for 15 seconds. Wait, I have given 15 seconds delay for one object. By default, you will get 15 seconds delay in the object cloning. You can change it if you want. Okay, based on the object, based on your website, based on your process, you can change it accordingly. But I will suggest you to not to change only, because 15 seconds is more for setting text or doing any object cloning. Okay, see, it is going for message box. It is at line number 5. Even if it is not finding that object also, we are continuing. That is how you need. If you want to do the operation by using web recorder, you can do it now in the next line. Okay, like this we will do. In those cases, you can do the continue operation. But in some cases, even after doing that also, web recorder also, if it is failing, that means the object still does not exist. You need to stop it. You need to stop the process and you need to log the error, what happened exactly, and you need to take the snapshot. Okay. This is how you need to do in the projects. You can make use of any, as much as you can. The number of lines or comments. If my object cloning fails, I will go for web recorder in some cases. Okay. Yeah, sure. I will explain. Don't worry. So here, how to continue? In what cases we will continue? In what scenarios we will stop? I am explaining. Okay. In some scenario, if the input file itself does not exist, that is known error that we need to handle. There are two types of errors. Some cases we will predict before only. While doing the projects, let's say yesterday we have, in the first class, I have shown you one Excel sheet. If M is there, put S. If F is there, yes. If something else is there, that is known scenario. If something else is there, what? Those things we will do manually. We will say them, okay, unknown input, something like that. But in some cases, like this, object cloning. While doing object cloning, you don't know whether the object exists or not, whether the website is loaded properly or not. We are not observing. Okay, somebody is doing the testing. So to log those kind of issues perfectly, we will use error handler. Unexpected errors, network failures, internet connection is very slow, object does not exist, website change. We don't know when the website is going to update, when the application is they are going to update. Those kind of unexpected things, we will use our error handler to do that operation. That error handler will do the logging for us, everything. We have some operations over here. So what are the operations are mandatory to analyze our issues or errors or take snapshot. Whatever the snapshot, yesterday we have created one variable, snapshot name. So we will pass it over here. So whenever any error occurs, it will take the snapshot of that page, what exactly happened. Okay. And run task. Run task is also important because let's say you are doing, okay, how to do the first taking snapshot. Let's discuss about it. So go to pass your snapshot path. Inside my docs, cache transaction, config file, logs, and snapshot. You are going to store your snapshot over here. Okay, directly you can come and check it. Okay, so let's say snapshot, the naming convention for snapshot. Snapshot, sorry, we will pass the variable name for it directly. Yesterday we have created one variable. Okay, let me open that file also. Open inside the main task. Okay. Yeah, we have snapshot name. So we have passed one name over here. And once after reading our input Excel file, we will append one unique identifier to observe for which record we got that error. Okay, we will append it, or we will rename it. We will use the rename operation to do the rename, to rename it. Okay, here we have just a snapshot underscore our date. Okay, date format. Okay, once after you complete reading your input file, then you will append this. You will rename that snapshot with your record number or anything, one unique identifier in your input file, so that you can easily identify in which record we got that error. Out of 10, 2 are failed. So directly you can go and check based on the record number. You can directly go and see the image snapshot, our snapshot, and directly you can go and check our log file also. Okay, so error handler, begin error handler. That means in each and every task we will use the first command is going to be begin error handler. Okay, inside begin error handler, if based on the process, if you want to stop it, if any error occurs, you can use stop or continue. It purely depends upon the process and the way you are coding. Okay, and the snapshot, if you want to continue, you can take snapshot of what happened. Let's say in my case, just now explained, if object cloning fails, I can take a snapshot and analyze it. why object cloning is failed and why web recorder passed there. It is passed and the object cloning is failed. Why it is failed? You can use snapshot with continue option. Okay, inside it I will pass snapshot or log data. What exactly happened for it? You can analyze. Even though our process won't stop because we are continuing and our web recorder is doing the work. Okay. If you want to analyze it more, why it is failed in the real time, you can use these options. Otherwise, you can just put continue if you don't want to mess all these things. Sometimes we won't do, sometimes depends upon the process again. Depends upon the application, how slow it is, how fast it is, those kind of scenarios. Okay. If you want to, if it is not failing frequently, you can take a snapshot and analyze actually what happened at that time. Okay. If it is not failing frequently, then you can take a snapshot and analyze, and you can change it your search. You can change your search criteria based on it, based on your search properties. Okay, these are the main important one. This search criteria is important while doing object cloning. Most important thing. Okay, so begin error handler again, passing snapshot path. Snapshot, select snapshot, and go to ROB001 logs and snapshot, SNMP SHOT snapshot, and here I will change this F2 snapshot name. Okay, and then change. Okay, that means you will pass 3 variables in each, and wherever you are passing your path, you will pass 3 variables from now on. Just observe it. One is your AI application path, first one, and the second one which you are going to read from your configuration file. Okay, in the configuration file. So I have given that slash also, so no need to. Just check the slash correctly while you are passing your path. If you have added one slash after application path, that means configuration. Let me open this each and every time. If I pass here, I have passed one slash in the beginning. Okay, then there is no need of any slash over there, so I will delete it directly. So delete and F2 path. Oh, we haven't created anything, so let me do it first. Save it. Actually, we will get that path from the configuration file. Okay, from the configuration file, you will str again snapshot path. We will pass this path from the read configuration. You will pass that whatever you are reading in the read configuration ATMX, you will pass it to your main task. Your main task will pass it to the subtask. This is how the flow goes. Read configuration will read all the data whatever we have created, and it will pass it to the main task. Main task will pass it to the subtask. Again, subtask, whatever, if some variables are going to use in another subtask, then you will pass it to main task. Main task will pass it to the next subtask. This is the flow we will use. This is how AI works. Okay, from the subtask to main task to the next subtask, what it wherever it will be useful. And again, whatever the output variable you got from the subtask is going to be main task. Main task will pass it to the next subtask. Okay, to and fro always. We will call all the subtasks inside main task only. So it makes sense, something like subtask to main task to subtask to main task. Flow will be like this. Okay, snapshot path. This we are going to get from the configuration file. Okay, so all the global variables are going to be in the main task. Whatever the variables, if you want to use one variable, even if it is a single one value, you have to, that variable should be created in the main task. Definitely all the global variables are going to be inside your main task variable manager. You have to create it manually, or you need to copy paste. I will suggest you to go by copy paste option always. Okay, it will be easy when you are calling your task. You can just do keep map. Okay, always copy and paste variables. If let's say I am going to use my snapshot path in some other task, we will use the same. Okay, in snapshot path. So you need to copy it and paste it wherever you want to use, so that it will be easy when you are going to when you are calling that subtask. It will be easy for mapping purpose. Okay, use the same name always. Okay, next thing, snapshot path. There is no slash at the end, so we need to change it. Sorry. AA application path, AA application path is not required now. F2 snapshot path. This is how it is going to be. If you want to remove the slash, follow the same structure again. You don't, to eliminate confusion between, I will place one slash and snapshot, one snapshot and slash. Okay, so here it is going to create our all our snapshots. Nandan, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. So this is how you need to pass your path. First, it will go to A application path. It will up to A automation anywhere files. This path is going to, our snapshot path is going to take till the snapshot folder, and this is our name, snapshot name. This is going to be our snapshot name. Okay, based on that name, it will take this. It will take the picture and it will save it with this name inside our snapshot folder. Okay, if there is any error occurs. No need to open XML file. It will do it in the background. Only Excel for Excel file we will use that option. In AA, we need to open only Excel file. Rest of the files we can do it in the background. It will directly read it. Yes, we will pass it from there to here. How to pass, we will discuss. Don't worry. Okay, what is your question first? Yes. Yes, there is no value because we are doing that operation inside our configuration file. We will read that file location. Cache transactions, we have created read configurate. No, read config underscore task. We have. So this will read from the get cell, get node. You will fetch that data from the configuration file to AA. Now, from AA in our read configuration file, it is stored. Now you have to pass it to your main task and all that subtasks wherever you are going to use it. Wherever you want to take snapshot, you have to pass the same path. So by using run task command, we will pass it. We are calling here only in the first line. Start XML session is going to use that, right? Start XML session. I have passed that path, XML path. Here I am reading the whole data, whatever we have created, this whole data in the read configuration file. So in the read configuration, it will store all the values, whatever we have created inside variables. I will pass it to the main task, and main task will pass it to the subtasks. Okay, how to pass it, we will discuss. Yes, yes. This one, yes. Don't worry about the value. Worry about that node, what you are creating. Whatever the value you are changing, it will directly pass it. If you change it in the real time also, it will pass it. Don't worry. But the session name, the one more use of session name is not only for using, once you have your robot is running and you are trying to change something, it won't affect. It will not affect in that particular runtime. Again, you have to stop that process and you have to change it and save it. Session name will log the data, whatever you have. If you are changing it, let's say you want to read data from Excel sheet and you want to add one more row while running itself, it won't do that operation because it is already taken that session. For that purpose, we'll use session, one more use of it. Okay. Okay. So this is going to be our snapshot. So whenever any error occurs, it will take the snapshot of our desktop or the error. Where? Oops. Okay. Application path. Yeah. It's not slash dollar. Correct? Yep. Okay. Next, run task. What is the use of run task? Let's say you are running a process. You are running one process. If you got an error and you have to stop it over there. Okay. Your Internet Explorer is open. Already it is opened. You are doing some operation. Let's say our in our NSE website only we are doing that process. Maybe some of the any whatever may be the reason, our bot failed. For that particular record, we have 10 records to do the. We have 10 inputs. Okay, in our Excel we have 10 rows. Continuously it is doing some operation. Up to fifth record it was fine. In the sixth record we got our network failure. Something, anything, any issue, unknown issue. Okay, and you are taking the snapshot fine. You are logging the data fine. It is stopped. That process, the sixth record is stopped. It should go to the seventh record, right? While going to the seventh record, you need to close this, because if you are not going to close it, there will be because we have coded always while processing the record, open NSA website. Okay, there will be 2 NSA websites. Always clear the data whatever you don't want. Like Excel will be always open, don't close it. Even if, because it should process all the records. Even if it is getting any error in the 6th record also, it should continue to 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Okay, we will not close Excels like that, Excels, for example. But you need to close this because your bot should open a new session for your Internet Explorer. It should open, right? Again, you should close. Let's say here it is failed, and your bot will try to open one more NSC. Again, it is failed. It is going to open one more Excel like this. So to eliminate all these things, you will create one more task called cleanup. Whenever any error occurs, you will clean it. Even if it is a positive task, you will clean it, because our execution of task will be like this. Whenever we are, it will execute line by line. You got an error at line number 6 or 7. Okay, it will stop it there itself. That means your Excel is all the sessions whatever you have opened will be alive, and you are trying to open one more Excel and one more Internet Explorer with the same session. Our robo may get confused. In website you won't get any issues. In the Excels you won't get any issues. But when you are dealing with an application, when you are dealing with any application .exes, there you will get issues. If you are not closing that particular exe, the banking sectors or insurance sector, they will allow to use only one exe at a time. Like this, we can open notepads as much as we can, but exes will open only one at a time, their exes. So if you are not going to close your exe whenever you got error, or after completing your process successfully, you have to close it and reopen it. Based on the process I am saying. Sometimes you have to close it after processing one record. I said I need to create a user. They provided me a server-side application where I have to create the user, okay, in one of my processes. Once after creating user and it is successfully completed, after completing successfully, you need to close all the applications whatever you have opened, each and everything. It should be like a plain thing again. Your system will be before running the process and after running process, it should be look like same. We need to close each and every application whatever you have opened during the robot run, if it is a positive scenario. If it is a negative, that means something has failed, unexpected thing occurred. Okay, and if I am trying to open that, I am trying to open my exe again for the next user. For the next user, if I am not closing any occurring, application will be open in the open condition only. If I am not closing that, and in the next record came, that means there I got one more record to process. Okay, and the bot will start from the first again. it will execute some lines, and it will, when it will come to opening the application, it will not open. So the next record also will fail. Because it is already open, their system will not allow us to open one more time. So in those cases, we will close the application whenever there is any error occurs. That means if you want to stop the process, you have to close everything for that. Okay, in those scenarios, it will be helpful. You need to call your cleanup each and every time. For web recorder, you won't get that much effect, because my bot is in, let's say you are in the production and you are not closing. That guy, I told you that process, whatever I am explaining, will work based on the trigger. Somebody may request one request, it will come to a shared path, my bot start processing. I don't know when the record comes. I don't know what time it will come. Nobody will observe. That system will always in the lock mode only. Nobody will observe. Once they come, they will just check the results. How many got processed, how many failure in the production. And they will just send it. Your percentage 0. Because if you don't close it, the next record, whatever you are getting, are going to be failed. Your percentage robo performance will be 0. It is going to be an escalation for you. So always use close task. If you are, particularly if you are using any exe file or application, if you are working on any application, you need to close it if any error occurs. That too I am saying based on the process. Sometimes you, in the Excel sheet, Excel and application process, we have to process one by one. You have to, you will find one option there directly, go back option. Here I don't have option, definitely I have to close it, because the next record is when, I don't know when the next record is going to come. I have to close everything, and I have to read, before complete, once after completing or any error occur also, I have to make my robo ready for the next record also. It should be plain thing again for me. So in the cases, clean task is most important thing. And if you are doing any Excel operations also, if you have any going back, that means in one of the applications, I have to continue. From the database, I need to fetch data. There will be thousands of records in the database, thousands of rows. I need to process continuously. And the FTE is around 20 FTE. It is going to complete. Okay? Around 42,000 records per month volume is going to be. That means per day it has to process around 1,000 plus records. So in those cases, we won't close. There I have an option. If once I open application, if I trying to open application each and every time, there are 1,000 records, I have to process one by one way, whatever may be the situation. If it is an error, I will give output as error. If it is successful, I will give successful output. Whatever may be based on the process, I will give the output. So if you are planning your robo, that is what we call architecture. Each and every time, if you are close for one record, okay, close application, again open, close 1,000 times, definitely it will fail. Sometimes, after sometimes, the system balance or something will go wrong and it will not open for the rest of the record. So in those cases, we will go to the first again, whatever the first, we will create our cleanup to go to first if any error occurs. Okay, then it will do the operations based on the process and based on the number of records, where each and everything matters here. Everything. So based on the process, you need to plan your cleanup task. You have to close unit. You need to create a task. Again, the same steps. If you want to close the application, what are the steps? They will provide the steps to close an application. If you want to click on directly close option, you can click. You will do that operation. Otherwise, they will specify to eliminate some issues, because if you are forcefully closing some applications, the services which we are using may stop in some of the applications. The services will stop if you are closing forcefully. Okay. In those cases, we will do whatever the steps they have provided, we will code it for them. Okay, and we will call that task. That is an independent task. We should not use any variables. It will not allow. AI will not allow. So it is going to, whatever we are using. Automation. Okay, so it is going to be an independent task. That means it is not going to depend on any of our tasks which we have created. Our cleanup is going to be an independent task. Just it will close whatever the required applications, or it will navigate to the first page directly. It is going to be an independent task. Always remember, our AA will not allow. Which one? This one? Yeah, if you want to continue, you can select continue. Cleanup task, and we will call it over in the run task. Okay? And log data. So how to create, why for one particular, anyway we are going to do project, so I will create one cleanup and you will see what it will do. Okay, don't worry. And log data into file. So here the same thing whatever we have seen yesterday. Log file. Okay, so log file name, yes, log file path, no variable. Okay, give me a sec, let me create one more. Same thing from the read configuration file, you will, sorry, run task also, add str log file path. Okay, we will create that and we will call it. We will call it over in the inside the log file. So the same thing whatever you have, we have given inside this snapshot, the same way you have to pass it, and the data whatever I said yesterday inside the log, you need to follow it. And one more thing is, I said info and error. Okay, maybe there is no log file in which task we have created. Okay, anyway, just leave it. Log file. Yesterday I said first the task name, and then your time stamp, and then info or error. Whenever you are using this log file command, you need to provide info over there. If you are using in the error handler, you need to in the place of info, you need to give error. So your log file will log each and every data. By seeing that error, you will see one column info, 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 info. In between, you will get error directly. So what is that error? Okay, more readable, more informable. Like it will give some information directly. You can go and check that error instead of coming one by one, line to line, checking where is my error, what is that occurred. Okay, so you will get log file like this. So your task name test.atmx and your time snap 10, 12, 2017, 01, 01, 01, then info and reading configuration success. Okay, and the same way one more line will be added. So around for one task, if it is a simple task, around 25 lines of code, 25 lines will be created over here. And if it is here, you will get error. So you can directly go and check if there is any error occurs. So you will get the error message. For that purpose, we will use system defined variables, error line and error description. We have two system defined variables. Whatever the error occurred in the real time, unexpected errors, what is that error? According to AA, it will give you. Yeah, error description and error line number. Instead of info, we are typing read configuration successfully. Instead, there we will provide error description and error line number. So you can go and check there is something error in this line. Okay. And send mail we won't use for errors actually. Once completing process, mostly we won't use. If it is a secured process, yes. If involves any, if it is like a support kind of thing, if there is any ticket that comes and our robot needs to process, at those scenarios we will send mail. I am failed to processing this SD card, please send it to the manual queue. If it is a support robo, that means any ticket comes and the robo has to process that ticket. We have, let's say the process like this, then you need to send a mail. I am failing to process this particular record, this is the ticket number so and so, then it will send the they will manually check the ticket. Okay. In most of the process we won't send any emails. Okay. And the variable assignment, here we are going to use our int success variable. Int success variable, because let's say, where is my int success? Yep. And I have already allocated that to 1 or 0, I don't know, it should be vice versa, sorry, just check it, save. So int success to which, the one which here if I am using 1 over here you need to use 0. Why? As I said, we are going to process whatever the process we are going to create, whatever the script we are going to develop is going to run, it will run like this, line number 1, line number 2, line number 3 continuously. Okay. Let's say in the Excel sheet it is failed to extract some data, or any unexpected error, failed to open our Internet Explorer, or failed to set some text. Here it is failing to set this text, or it is failed. Okay. So we have stopped that, whatever the task we have created for this NSE website, we will stop it. Even after doing 2 operations, I mean object cloning and web recorder, web recorder also failed to set some text. Okay. In those scenarios you need to stop, because we haven't set any text. The next thing we are going to do is this extracting data from here. So this page will not come, because it is here itself it is failed. So it should not go to the next task whatever you have created for extracting text. It should not go to this task, right? Because it is failed there only. So by using this operation, because the positive case int success value, initial value is 1, whenever there is any error occurs, unexpected thing, it will set that value to 0. So while calling my any of my tasks, I will use this into variable f2 int success. If it is equals to 1, then only run this task, otherwise don't. So whenever you are going to call any tasks, you have to follow this int success, and you have to call your task, whatever the task you are calling, you have to call it. If there is any error occurred and you want to stop the process, you will set that value to 0. Okay. And run task. For that purpose we will use run task command. So it will not call the other tasks, it won't waste our robot time, it will directly go to the next process directly, and it will update the status. In the end, if int success is equals to 0, in the end, in the last 2 lines, in the last 3 or 4 lines, we will create one more task, status update. After completing everything, you will create one more task which is going to generate your output, whatever the output you have generated. It may be success or it may be failure. So at the end, if int success is equals to 0, that means our negative scenario, it will generate our output saying that error occurred, this is the line number in the Excel sheet, not in the log files. Or log files they will generate at that time only, but you have to show some outputs, right, for that particular record. So the report generator will generate the output saying that this is the error for that particular 7th line or 8th line, 8th row or 7th row. It will set that status as error occurred, this is the line number. So the analyst can, the tester will also know, okay, error occurred. You will set error found something in the status, or if record available, these are all the details of that record, like that. So for that purpose, int success will be useful. So you will call all your tasks sequentially. Okay, whenever any error occurs, don't call the other tasks. Based on the process, again same, based on the process. If you want to continue also, even after any error occurs also, you can use, okay. But mostly you have to call this int success. In all the processes we will use this operation. So while dividing the task itself, while designing the That's why I said designing is the most important part, not developing. Designing is most important. How you are going to architect your robot, how you are going to design it. Each and every task you are going to divide. If I gave you a project, you have to divide it. Okay, it is your duty. And as I told, one developer will be there for one process. So fully you have to do. You have to architect your robot, you have to design your robot, you have to develop, and you have to test it in RPA. For that, in the design, invest more time on designing. Think all the scenarios, all the possible scenarios, failure scenarios, positive scenarios, how to generate a report, how to, if any error occurs, whether I have to continue or I have to stop it, I have to code it twice, everything. Designing is the most important thing. We will discuss how to divide a task. Most probably we will divide a task independently. That means one task is not going to depend on another task. Definitely there will be some cases you need to depend. Let's say I have an Excel operation and I have a web operation. So Excel is going to be different and my web is going to be different. Okay. So if there is any error occurs in Excel, I won't call my web because I failed there only. Why should I call this task? For that purpose, we will decrease the dependency on each and every task. Okay. So we have some principle to follow, not compulsory in all the cases, and all the clients are not following the same principle. So it depends on the process, because as a developer, it is your duty to design it in a more efficient way in the performance wise and in the efficiency wise. Okay, performance in the size, in the time matters, and efficiency in number of successful scenarios. Percentage and time, both are going to matter in RPA. Okay, so I will share you one document. That's it for today. We will discuss whatever there in the tomorrow. We will start our projects from Monday. I don't know. We need to, from Monday. Sure, there won't be any class tomorrow. Okay, from Monday we will start our first project. Okay, be ready for it. I will share the documents on Monday itself. Okay, at least for the first project. Okay, the design document, and you and me are going to design it and architect it and complete it. We will complete it. Don't worry. So before that, where is it? AA materials. Where I have stored. Okay, in the Monday itself, I will share that also. That is not that much important for you for today. So practice some commands at least. I'm saying try to know each and every command how it works. Then it will be useful for you in the performance wise and efficiency wise. Okay. How error handler works, each and every command actually. If I what if I change the search criteria? What if I limit to 2 lines? How domain path works? Try to investigate on those things. We will discuss. Okay. What coordinates do? What image do? Try to know more about these things. Okay.